Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring Apothebakery. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played and then share a few things we may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Apothebakery to your collection. Here we have the game Apothebakery, and I also want to mention that there's also the Master Alchemist upgraded components and expansions included. So that means all of our little potions are these nice acrylic, and some of these other pieces are wooden. Otherwise, you get chipboard pieces with the game. So in this game, we have our adventurers, and we're trying to cure our adventurers, try fulfilling these potions down here. Now, each adventurer starts with a set amount of hearts based on the diagnosis card. So we have 2, 3, and 1 heart. Meaning Sir Wallen here, we only have one chance to cure him before he dies, turns into a ghost, and then something bad will happen to us in the next round. So we want to cure our adventurers before they die. Over here is our player area. Now everybody starts with a 4E deck, and this one is related to the water element. So meaning when I want to purchase a card from the wilderness area, I need 1 less stamina if I am purchasing water. And here we have our stamina amount. Each card has a different amount on it. This is where we're going to keep our potions. These are going to come into play a little later. I'll explain them. And we also have 3 different objective cards, and they can be a variety of things such as baking 3 purple cakes, ending with a specific elixir, or ending with some cards in your hand. You'll get points. And then we have our little reputation, which is our points that we'll get throughout the game. So the first thing we want to do is draw 3 cards from our 4E deck. So these cards are telling us our stamina, how much sort of purchasing power we have to get our cards. So up here in the wilderness deck, you'll see cards range from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 8 stamina. Now, these elements here relate to the potions we'll be able to try to get based on the card. But what we don't know is how many potions, because they have different amounts on them. As I mentioned down here, we're really looking for Sir Wallen to get that 1 green potion to cure him before he dies. This is a wild potion, and I won't be able to get that on this first turn because that happens if you have 2 of the same potion that you want to turn into a wild. And then this one wants a blue, pink, and a green potion. So with my cards here, I have 3, 4, and 1. Now you would decide, you'd add them up. Whoever has the lowest amount would go first. But for this little video, I'm just showing you what you do on each of the turns. So this is how much spending power I have. Now when we look, we have a green potion here worth 3 and a green potion here worth 4. So I know right away I want to use my 3 and 4 to get those 2 cards because I'm trying to cure him before. So I'm going to spend these 2 to get these 2 cards. Now I have the option of spending this one or putting it back on my deck. So if somebody else had already taken this 1 potion, then I wouldn't have enough stamina to buy anything else. But since for this demo, it's still here, I'm going to spend it and take this one as well. Once we do it, we turn it over to see what is our power. They all have a potency of 1. So I'm only able to select 1 potion for each card. But if we look, let's just see. This one, for example, had a potency of 2. So then you'd be able to pull 2 out of a bag if you had that one. So that is the first step, is pulling your cards, purchasing some wilderness cards so you can determine what potions you're going to do in the next step. So our next step is to pull our potions. But before we do that, I'm going to show you this board because these have some little abilities you can do. First, there's Purge. This would be if you have things in here, potions here that you want to get rid of. For example, if you had a failed potion or an impure potion, you might want to get rid of it so you could purge it. This is how you get the wild potions. If you have two of the same already, you could use this and spend the two to get one wild. Transmute allows you to, if I had this purple card but I really wanted it to be pink, I could use transmute to trade this to a pink card, the insect card, or whichever element you want. And potency allows you, if I had one but I really wanted more, I could spend one and add one potency and make this card 2. And to do that, on your first ability, it costs you 1 mana. And if you do a second ability, it costs you additional 2. You only have 12 for the entire game, so you want to decide when you want to use these benefits. So right now, for what I need, I'm not going to use any of the benefits. So I'm going to put my cards here. So it allows me to pull 2 green and 1 purple. Now on your turn, if I didn't want to pull that purple one yet, I don't have to. But I could just hold on to this card and use it later, or I can do it all. So we have these bags, and in the bags, it's all based on the number of players. We have pure potions, impure potions, and we should have a failed potion, which we don't, so it's a good thing I looked. So, and you have 1 failed potion. So it's a sort of a push your luck thing. We're going to, oh, we do have a failed potion. It just did not come out of the bag. There it is. So you put it in, you shake them up. And this is why I really like the upgraded components. You can hear the shaking instead of just chipboard. I always find it interesting. So I can pull 2 green potions. So the first one I pull is a pure potion. Fabulous. The next one I pull, I got another pure potion. So that's the great thing of going first. You get the best chance of getting those potions. And then I can also get myself the purple one, because you never know, I might need it for future turns. So let's see. Oh, so this is an impure potion. So you can use this. However, if you choose to use it to cure somebody, you also have to roll the die. And then the die will tell you whether or not it worked. This one would be okay, but you lose a point that you would gain. So you can use them, but it also comes with a risk. So right now I don't need to use it, so I'm okay. So once I get my potions for all the cards, I'm just going to put them on the discard pile over here. And we're ready to move on to the next step. So now it is time to cure our adventurers. And because I got that green spell, or the green potion, I can use it to cure Sir Wallen. So this would go back into the bag. And then I would get these 2 cards. I get points. I get 2 points for that. And then because he had 1 heart on him, I get 3. So you put that on your reputation. I would get a total of 5 points and put that aside. You get this into your area because at the end of the game, you're scoring who has the most different colored potions. And then I also had that card based on the colored cakes. So I'll just move that over. This goes away. And then and then also you get the number of spell cards here, and you only keep 1, but I can pick 2 spell cards. This one is forage 1 resource from the wilderness for no stamina cost, so that's a good one. Or on your next foraging round, your forays transform into a species of your choice. That one's good too. I think I'll get this one. And what you do is you just put it in on your board there, and you can only hold 1 spell. Now, if I had not saved Sir Wallen and he would have died, you would have turned it over and burn and disable all the alchemy abilities for the next round, meaning we wouldn't be able to use any of those tokens that we had, like the extra benefits. But we saved him, so all is good. Now, if these weren't saved, what happens is one heart comes off each of them. And then in the next round, we're really going to be focusing on this one. Now, when you're playing with multiple people, we would sort of focus in. So whoever was the first player, they'd be like, I'm saving this particular one. And the second player would be like, I have enough potions to save this one. And the third player would be like, okay, I'm going to try to save the third one. And there'd be 4 in a 3-player game. In a 2-player game, there's 3. And then you refresh it for the next round. So you put out your new adventurer. You turn over your new diagnosis. It has 2 hearts, so this one gets 2 hearts. And you get your new cure. And then up here, you take these cards, you move them over and place out a new set of cards for the next round. And we move from open to morning on our little timeline here. So it goes over 6 rounds, the game. And then you would just repeat those steps again, getting everyone picking cards, getting your potions, and trying to cure the adventurers. And that's basically how the game is played. At the end of the game, you've add up your scoring from saving people. Then you get -1 for if you have any failed potions. This is these little ghosts. So if somebody dies, I think you get a ghost token. And if you still have it in your board, you get -1. However, you can remove them with that purge action I showed you. The player with the most wild on their cure cards gets 4 points. And then whoever has the most of the different colors gets 2 each. You also look at your objective cards and add that to the points. And then whoever has the most points wins. And that's basically how Apothebakery is played. There is a solo mode. It's played with these corruption cards. And on your turn, you turn it over. And you're given a stamina amount. So you compare that to your amount and determine who goes first. So with a 2, there's a good chance that he will go first. And so what he does is removes whichever cards are indicated. So in this case, it's just this card just gets removed from the game. Then you take your turn and you get the cards you want. You get the potions you want. And when it comes down here to phase 3, when we're going to cure, if he goes first, he rolls the die. And he got a 2, which means this is the person he is killing. So we remove the hearts. We remove him from the game. And this gets put into the corruption area. They would get 7 points, plus there was 2 hearts, so plus 2. So they would get 9 points on their tracker. It's actually -9 points, but 9 points onto theirs. And they would also receive a little ghost because they killed somebody. At the end of the game, it's based on how many points they collected, as well as they get bonus points for how many ghosts they have. They get ghosts for killing, or if an adventurer would die, they would also get a ghost for that. And you're just trying to get a higher score than the corruption. And so you're playing your game while they're just removing some cards, removing some adventurers, and you're, as I said, you're just trying to get more points than they did. Now, I found this, it has challenges to it, because every turn, almost, they're doing it. If you get, I think it was either the skull or this one, then they don't kill anybody. So that gives you a chance to get in there and get somebody ahead of them. And in the end, because of the objective cards, I ended up winning by 2 points. But so it is challenging, and each game would play differently. So if you are playing solo, the solo component is pretty easy to do and still gives you a challenge. So overall, we enjoyed playing this game. I played it with 3 players and I played it solo. I would say it is a medium-low strategy game. So one of the first things that we were attracted to with the game is, of course, the art. We love all the adventures and the colors, and they're just really cute. And then the diagnosis cards with the cakes. Again, really cute. The concept of the game is quite easy to follow with getting your cards to get your potions. Now, in getting the potions, it's a push your luck thing. And so Mark, he was perfect at getting his potions. Always got great potions. Gemma always got impure and failed potions. She was not great with getting potions. And then, of course, so that makes a difference in actually being able to cure our little buddies. And so some of these, if this was the starting one, some of these would be very hard because you cannot get a wild potion until at least round 2, since you need 2 of the same pure potions to make a wild. To get 3 potions could be hard because only one person really can get 3 cards. It's hard to get 3 cards. And then this would one you could probably do if a pink and black card were up on the wilderness board. And so that's the other challenge, is that first round, trying to cure one of them can be difficult. And depending how many hearts they have would be determined whether or not one would die. And then the ghost would come and haunt you with something bad for the next round. As I mentioned earlier, we sort of played it cooperatively, like we played our own game, but we were discussing which adventures we were going to cure so we wouldn't be hit with the ghost. So we each sort of focused in on different adventures. And we did that when we were picking our cards right from the start of the round, picking the cards we would need. So as I said, if you had a black and pink card, then there's a chance you could cure that adventure. Now, the other thing is, here you'll see that there's 3 black cards currently, or the little gems. They cost 1, 2, and 3 different stamina. And so you might be like, which one is best? Well, you never know. In this case, this one gives you 1 potency. This one gives you 1. And this one gives you 1. So it doesn't matter how much stamina you spent. They all just gave 1. There is a chance one of them could have given 2. Here was one from a previous round that had 2. And so you never know where these cards are showing up. So you don't know how much stamina you could spend. The person who only spends 1 might get more potency than the person who spends 3 sometimes. So that's another thing. It's sort of chance of which cards you'll get and how much you'll be able to pull when it's time to pull potions. We really liked here on the board having these options. So if I needed a pink, but there was no pink on the board, I could still transmute it and still have an attempt to get that pink. And we were able to manage our mana that throughout the game, we never ran out. There is a spell card, I think, that will get you a couple more mana that Gemma did get during the game. And we really enjoyed the spell cards because here I could just forage a resource without paying. So if I really wanted this purple one for 5, I'd be able to get that one without the stamina cost. So the little spell cards do give you a lot of great bonuses. But as I said, overall, we enjoyed the game. We loved the theme and the art, and it was just a fun game to play. So let me know if you have played Apothebakery and what you think of this game.